I cannot begin to imagine a better way to start this 10 ball rack analysis video with nothing more than some motivational for you guys who are pretty much trying to become a better player day by day. Some of you guys are aspiring to become professionals like myself. But one thing I can tell you is that this game, known as pocket billiards, has really taught me a lot about myself as a person. The game of pool chose me. I did not choose the game of pool because back in high school, my sport was cricket. We talk a lot about football. And most importantly, we talk about athletics and netball and various types of sport. But this particular sport is not talked about a lot in my country, which is why there are so many good players here in Jamaica, but they're often not being able to given the opportunity to showcase our skills unless they're on a platform like this. So my aim and focus here is to definitely try to get myself to a level where I can represent my country, and I do have the talent. And this game has taught me so much about life itself, decision making, how to approach correcting a bad decision, how to fight through the struggle of a rack. There's so many life lessons here in this game known as pocket billiards. But I'm going to be walking you through this 10 ball rack. Once again, it's not one of those Cosmo racks where I get a perfect break, get a look on the lowest numbered ball and run the rack out. I'm going to have to fight my way, and there's going to be some mistakes that I'm going to make along the way, but this is how we develop our game to the next level. This is how we develop as a person, because single-handedly the most expensive currency in pool right now is knowledge and consistency of knowledge application. So let's see if I can dive into this rack and learn something from here. So starting with a really nice solid break there on the rack. Really nice break in terms of how the balls have spread. Had fairly good control over the cue ball. It kind of stayed somewhere in the middle of the table, then it started to drift out. So I kind of didn't land as nicely as I would like on the one ball here, but I still have a good opportunity for the run. Now, I'm actually here looking at trying to pop the one into this bottom right pocket here. Now you're gonna see where I am going through the process of what's the best approach to this shot. Should I jack up and try to punch, or do I roll through? What are my possible options? Notice how I'm finding the pocket line, and I know that this is a problem shot because of practice shots like this. I will pin a link in the description box below for a drill that I did when it comes to playing these types of shot, shooting off the rail at a ball that is near the spot or in the middle of the table. Tricky shot, but it's all about confidence in your delivery, because if I jack up, I'm gonna have to stun follow in order to get position on the 3. But if I roll through here and I just find the pocket line, get down and aim, just find it correctly and just apply the proper fundamentals, then once you're able to assess which positional route with speed, which all those other variables play an important role, then you'll be able to execute the shots with certain quality, as you're going to be seeing here. So this was a nice execution, a tough opening shot there on the 1. I already know that I wasn't going to get perfect position on the 3, so I had planned already mentally that the next shot is going to be a tough one. But here's where I let indecisiveness got the best of me, because I'm a pro. As I'm looking at the rack here, I'm looking at trying to play a safety. Notice that I'm not looking like I'm in offensive mode. I would have already gotten down. It's just now that I'm looking at the potential of a really tricky cut shot, because I'm cutting past the 4, which is covering more than 3/4 of the path that could potentially have the 3 ball bucket into the top right. So now you see where I'm now moving from defense mode into offense mode. But here's the big mistake: I didn't completely commit to the shot, because here I'm trying to pot the 3, But notice the speed of the cue ball. I was actually trying to play a safety as well behind the 4. So indecisiveness there got the best of me. Plus, I'm playing on a table that is not completely leveled. If you notice carefully that there was a slight little drift that allowed the 3 ball to actually go even so close to the pocket. So that there was definitely a good reward for that outcome. I definitely sold out because of my indecisiveness there. Now a pot there on the 3. Now just looking now to see if I can come back to the table here and try to create some sort of run. Now I have a tricky combination here from the 4 to the 5, and why it's so tricky is that the 5 ball is actually very close to the rail and the 4 ball is about a ball width off the rail. So now I'm gonna have to be cutting the 4 ball towards the rail to cut the 5 ball into the pocket. Bad things can happen here. If the stroke is not smooth, if I apply any unwanted side spin, I could miss the shot and potentially selling out. And just as I thought, the result there was tricky, because again, after the combination, had I even popped the 5, I would have still not have full control over where the 4 ball was going. So definitely was a tough shot there. Now I end up getting a bit fortuitous here in terms of laying my opponent tough here on the 4. Now I'm gonna try to construct some sort of safety. Now this was a potential sellout, so to speak, because what I was trying to do was try to get the 4 ball on the rail and try to leave the cue ball in direct line with the 10 and the 4. Cue ball landed perfectly, but the 4 ball was cut a bit too thick. Needed it to be a little bit thinner. But nevertheless, here opponent doesn't have a opening shot. Gonna have to construct some safety here, and this is one of the most beautiful safeties that I like to execute. It just gives me so much control over the cue ball. Once you're coming off the rail like that, once you have an idea, and this is why I like the defensive part of pool, because it takes a lot from you to be creative with your safeties. And that was not a very difficult safety, but it's the execution that really makes it beautiful. Now, as I said, guys, you can check out my other tutorial videos. I have some really good situations that comes up that you guys can need to learn how to execute certain defensive shot, as opposed to always thinking that you have to go offense. But let's move from that. That was a very excellent safety here. Now you can see I'm going through my usual calculation. Bear in mind that this is a practice. I do this a lot faster if I had to be in a real match, but because I'm in practice, I'm taking my time to fine-tune my calculations. Whenever I have to be kicking at an object ball one rail, I use a variety of systems. I use the midpoint shift system, I use numbers, I use rail adjustments, I use various types of systems. I can safely tell you here that I'm using a very special addition one rail kick system to kick at this 4. And a lot of the times when the pros are kicking, they don't just kick to try to make contact, because you're very sure they can make contact, but they're also trying to kick to see where can they get the cue ball or the object ball safe. Now that kick shot was definitely out of line. The 8 ball looks a little bit big for the one rail kick, plus I'm not guaranteed a safety, so I've decided here to use the reverse +2 system for this 2 rail. Once I come off 2 rails, I'm going to come in between the 5 and the 8, and with a good gamble, full contact there on the 4, I could potentially get a good safe. Now that was a really good hit, really flush hit. Notice how the cue ball stayed within the zone that I wanted. So had I just amped down a bit on the speed, I could have gotten that 4 ball safe. That's some powerful knowledge there. Now a big sellout there, that's okay. It was a good kick, didn't get the best result, that's fine. Pocket the 4, now I'm on the 5. Now it's a bit tricky, and here is where again you've got to be able to tap in between the mental state of playing offense versus playing defense. Here, I could go wild and try to cut the 5 ball into the corner pocket, but then again, where's the guarantee position on the 6? So now I've decided to try to play a bit of safety here. I'm just going to be trying to bank the 5 ball, and the aim here is to try to carry the cue ball behind the 9 and try to get the 5 ball all the way up to the short rail here. That was a pretty good shot. It was a good outcome, even though I can see a piece of the 5. The shot is not offensive for my opponent. My opponent would have to do something special here, maybe a slight masse swerve shot. But then again, as you will see, that the pros don't play big shots to win. They play the shots with percentages. Now I'm looking at kicking 1 rail here, but notice now that as I'm looking to kick 1 rail, I'm not just trying to kick at the 5. I'm trying to kick at a certain side of the 5 that's allowing me to get some sort of safety. So the aim here is to try to kick full. Now, I know that sometimes when you try to kick at an object ball, you forget to call the pocket. And I know that very fortunately sometimes you can kick a little bit thin and the ball goes into the pocket, and I know that position on the 6 would have been guaranteed to some extent. So I called the shot, made the kick, good kick. Fortuitously though, notice here that I've landed safe. Again, as I've always explained to you, my audience, that a lot of the times when you do your calculations and you kick at an object ball, once you make a good hit, the percentage for you to get lucky increases. It's when you kick wildly that a lot of the times you sell out the rock. So you've got to kick with intent as opposed to just kicking to make contact here. Now, a tough spot, really tricky spot. The double kiss looms large, and I know this, but I didn't really give it time to really settle down in terms of making my decision. I kind of knew that the double kiss looms large, but I still went ahead, and that's something that I'm also guilty of in my game. I tend to be very in between decisions and not commit, and so lack of commitment to that decision to play safety there is what caused me to pretty much sell the rock out for the last time here, and now I'm in tip-top position for a run up. The table is open, not much problems. Here I'm just looking to just draw the cue ball back straight in a straight line, and just kind of using a bit of spin here to draw. Well, in fact, I had an angle. I was trying to stun across the face of the 9. Definitely, I'm not sure what my decision was, but worked out fine. I'm on the 7 here. Now I'm looking to play position on the 8. Now, what I like to do here, guys, and I hope that this is what I do, sometimes you can go 1 rail and come up towards the middle of the table. Sometimes you can go 2 cushions and come inside the angle. So I felt like that was a better decision. Once again, you can see that's a third example in this rock where indecisiveness got the best of me, and so you can see now I just got a little bit into myself, got a bit disappointed in terms of, you know, making the same mistake twice in the same rock. That is unforgivable. I kind of just got down and started to just kind of shot at the ball. Everything got wild. So like I said, guys, for the most part of this rock, apart from where I just indecisively just went down, didn't commit to the pocket on the 7, missed it, everything went wild. But the most important thing that we can take from failed rocks like these, guys, is learn to commit to one. Learn to commit to your shot before you try to execute and do fancy stuff. All right, so here, just finish off, just 3 balls on the table. Again, as I said, I'm just gonna be experimenting here, not gonna be trying to settle down to the rack has already gone bad, so I'm just gonna let autopilot take over here and try to finish the rack here. Beautiful bank shot to end a good rack. Felt like we all learned something from that, but let's continue and see what we can learn from the remaining racks coming up in or on the channel here. So until then, take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your positive questions and comments, thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.